everyone, Mary at Espresso Press Design. Thank you for joining me today on this February wintry day. Today we're going to make some ribbon crimp fabric charms similar to this, and you're going to need a lot of supplies. So let's get started. But first I want to show you something I made, which was a lot of fun. And I'm pretty close today so that you can see everything clearly, hopefully. I made my first ever paper mache bowls. My daughter can't believe I never did paper mache. But no, I must have been absent that day in art class. I've never done this in my life, but it is so much fun, and it uses a lot of paper. And I'm actually surprised at how sturdy they are. But I don't know if I'm going to varnish these or not yet. I'm still thinking about it. But lots of fun. That will probably be coming up in some episode here in the future. So let me show you an example of these. Originally I was just playing around with bending paper clips into fun shapes, and then I thought, well, you know what, that will hold something, a charm or something. So that's what began this adventure. And here they are. You can put it on the top of the page or the side, like so. Let me get that past that jump ring. Of course, this is not going on smoothly because I'm on camera. Normally it would go on in like 3 seconds because you're not really altering the paper clip. So that's how it would look in a journal. And then it would just probably dangle off the side. And then just peek out a little bit, like so. Very cute. And it's not really losing any of its strength. So you can tuck stuff in there. You do kind of have to remember to keep your loops straight. Flat, I mean. But that's the only thing you have to worry about the paper clip. So of course you're going to need some paper clips. You can also do these with safety pins. You will need some fabric. Now, sturdy fabric works better for the base because you're going to be sliding it into your ribbon crimp. And that one has glue on it. So let me, of course I can't find a cloth. Let me wipe that off a little bit. Okay, you're going to need paper clips. You're going to need fabric scraps. One is heavy. I have tons of fabric scraps here. You can find these types of things at Goodwill quite often. Your little fabric scrap basket will work fine. I'm not going to do the totally artistic part, but if you want to do slow stitching, If you want to do beads, if you want to do charms, here's one with a bead. If you want to do charms, all of that you're going to need. So you're going to need some type of thread. That's going to be up to you. You're going to need your ribbon crimps. Now I was just upstairs to write down the manufacturer of this and I forgot, but I got this on Amazon. I think it was around $8 because it has the assorted sizes and assorted colors. And this one has silver, gold, bronze, rose gold, and gunmetal. So I like that variety. And it also has the assorted sizes. And the ones I'm going to be using today are approximately 1 inch. To see if this was going to work the way I hoped. I think Hobby Lobbies were about, the largest one was about 3/4 inch, and I wanted the 1 inch, so I had to order them since we don't have a Joann's anymore. And the smaller ones, I just want to get my one pack out here. The smaller ones, you can just use to make little fabric dangles. You can put these on your spine, you can put them in your journal, your planner, whatever. Okay, so you can use any sizes, just whatever you're most comfortable working with. You can also put these on a pin, but you have to make sure that your hem is on the bottom part of your pin. The opposite the part that opens, so that you know, it will dangle from your pin. You can also get the jewelry pins with the loop in them, but again, Hobby Lobby had the 3-loop kilt pin, and I didn't want that, so I just mostly used the paper clip method. Okay, you're going to need some jump rings because you are going to be attaching this to your paper clip loop with a jump ring. And you are going to need some jeweler pliers and some regular pliers for opening your jump ring and crimping your, curling your paper clip, bending your paper clip, and crimping your jump ring. Now I am going to see if, where did you go? Did you just disappear on me? Are you stuck to something else? Okay, now, yes, you are stuck to something else, of course. Now what I wanted to see is if the hardest part is actually, oh, that's all gluey. The hardest part is actually holding your fabric in your crimp, ribbon crimp, because it's not stiff. So what I want to see today is if I put a little glue on there, Is that going to make that easier? Because heretofore I have not been doing that. And I think probably I'm going to match my ribbon crimp to my paper clip. Your paper clips, I prefer the thinner metal, not the coated. Some paper clips bend easier than others. For example, this gold, it's not very thick, but it was pretty sturdy metal, and it was much harder to bend. And you can use smaller paper clips. There's a small paper clip. So okay, first let's bend the paper clip. And I am not going to show you the decorating. I'm not going to show you the enhancing, the sewing. I'm just going to sew enough to get these layers of fabric attached, and how you're going to want to measure and everything like that. And the different styles. Like this one has a ribbon crimp on the top and the bottom. This one is open, like a book page. And I particularly wanted that because I didn't want my stitching to show up on the back. So I doubled my heavy fabric. That's going to be entirely up to you. I think this one is completely open. Let me go through all this first. I've made something similar in the past with safety pins, like this. And if you are not into hand sewing, and if you want to mass make, you can sew your layers of fabric together like this, and then they have a opening here, a hem, like that. And then you can just cut those to the width of your ribbon crimp and do something like that. That's a lot faster than making them individually, but I kind of like the idea. I'll probably cut these up and use these since they've been in my box. I kind of like the idea of doing them individually. They just have a little more personality, but of course that takes a lot more time. So okay, I think I've covered all the styles, everything you can use. So to bend your paper clip, now I like both of my loops going the same way. The bottom one is easier, and you're just going to take a jeweler's pliers that are completely round. And hopefully I can do this on camera this far away. And you're going to find the width of how this is thinner at the bottom, at the point, than at the top. It's kind of cone shaped. And you're just going to find what width, what size you want your loop to be. And then you're just going to begin. I'm going to do this the other way. You're just going to begin bending your wire until you're halfway, and then you're going to put it in the exact same place on your tool. Now my hands are slippery because I put lotion on. Let me get a hold of this. And then we're going to bend that the rest of the way until that loop is closed, like so. Now technically I do not even have to do the second loop. And I just want to make sure that when I put it down, my my loop is flat on the table. So I have to bend that in a little bit. Otherwise that's going to cause problems when you're putting it in and out of on your page. So there we go. We have our paper clip with a loop. And the second one is a little bit harder because you have to maneuver it inside that space. And make it a little bit smaller. Move your tool to the end of your wire. I didn't say that. And then begin to bend it the same way. So there, I'm halfway. And you just maneuver your wire. You just maneuver your paper clip however it's comfortable for you to turn. So there we go. We have our two loops. And this one is the loop got a little crooked. So I'm going to have to bend that one in a little too. So it lies flat on my table as if I didn't do anything to the paper clip. So okay, there's our paper clip. And then if you want, you can attach your jump ring to your paper clip immediately or after. I'll just do it after. So either way, if you want to charm, because of the way this loop is lying, either way you're going to need jump rings to get your charm and your crimp, ribbon crimp to lie, to be able to twist frontwards. So okay, where's my so okay, I have this piece of fabric. Let me see if this glue, yeah, this glue is just tacky on here now. I used fabric tack, and I'm going to see if that is helpful to get this to stay in the ribbon crimp without shifting. But basically what you're going to do to measure your fabric, I pretty much just tear. You know, I should probably just put all these away for the moment. And put these out of the way. So I basically just, this is pretty self-explanatory. I measured right on my ribbon crimp. Now you can use actual ribbon, of course, but of course after I bought these I didn't have the exact same size ribbon. And since I rarely use ribbon, I didn't want to buy any. Plus fabric is more interesting, so It doesn't have to be, it can extend on the outer edges of your ribbon if you want. That's going to be a personal preference. You can make them more square. I think the max size of these ribbon crimps is probably an inch, but I never actually checked that. So, so that's how I measured my base. Now, you don't have to fold your base in half, but I just wanted my stitching to be hidden. So you can either keep that as a closed up and down, and you can also make them whatever length you desire. For this one, I actually went a little shorter, I think, than most of them. So I just preferred that proportion when I put 2 crimps on it. I'm going to leave all that up to you. And again, you can either leave this closed, just one layer, or just one layer and keep the bottom open like a, you know, flag. Or put a crimp on the top and the bottom. Okay, I hope that's explanatory. So usually I would begin by doing my fabric. And I forgot to say you're going to need a needle. And I have one threaded here. And you came off the front of my book. There you are. So I'm not going to do any fancy sewing here. I'm just going to attach this little arrangement to this piece of base fabric. And since it already kind of has a design, I'm not gonna do anything fancy. Just gonna show you the basic construction, and then all the creativity is gonna be up to you. And trust me, you don't want to see me sit here and watch me sew, because I'm pretty new at slow stitching. And I have to repeatedly go back and watch videos to learn all my stitches. But I kind of did want all of my stitches hidden. And you can make these for jewelry. You can make them for backpack decorations for kids. You can make them out of, you know, memento fabric from a deceased loved one. Things like that. Heirloom fabric, favorite fabric, lace. Just try to make it a little special. I'm catching my fray there. You know, you can do your, if you are really good at embroidery, you can showcase your skills. And of course, you can tailor them to each journal. Okay. Let me get a stitch right there in the center there. You can put sequins. You can sew a charm on the front of there. All kinds of things you can do. Okay, let me get this secure. If you're one of those ones that like to make fabric clusters, this is just one more thing you can do with them. Please tell me I used the right, no, I don't feel that. Okay, I still see it. My glue's no longer wet. Okay, so this, let me get, of course I don't have one here. Let me get a piece of white paper. So that you can see this a little better. So okay, I'm probably just gonna keep this open like a book and just put a crimp at the top. But that is definitely the hardest part, is keeping that crimp on there and then crimping, trying not to put a dent in it, and keeping it centered. On a floppy piece of fabric. There's probably a trick that people make that make ribbon bookmarks have, and I forgot to look it up. So that's definitely the hardest part. And some of them bend pretty easily, so you can crimp it slightly just so it's not so wide. That helps a little bit. I thought about putting a something over the top, like a folded cardboard or something, cardstock, to protect it, but then you can't see it and it might shift on you. So see, as soon as you pick up your tool and get ready to go, everything starts getting wonky. So I just go to a corner there and get it tight. So it's at least secure on one side. And now my weak hand is shaking. And then go to the other corner and get it on there. And then, but it's still shifted. Oh, maybe not. That looks pretty straight. And then take a piece of fabric and crimp down the entire thing. But kind of like a corner, metal corner for your books. It might help if you actually glue it first before you even begin crimping. That might be a helpful little tip. And that's cute. Okay, let me get a jump ring opened here. This one is already semi-open. Yeah, I rarely do this. I can't do this anymore. I used to make jewelry when I was blind. I probably never said that. Yes, I did lose my vision for 1 year. And I used to make jewelry. And I didn't want to stop. So oh geez, I wasn't supposed to close that yet. I have to get it on the paper clip first. Let me see if there's a space on there. Now that's going to be up to you, whether you want to reopen your paper clip or reopen your jump ring. Just a minute. I know I'm out of view, but I have to get in here in the right spot. Reopen this. I shouldn't have closed it the whole way. Here we go. So now I have my paper clip on there, my crimp. Now I opened it way too much. My crimp and my jump ring. Okay, closed. Okay, there we go. Now, where'd my book go? Let's see how that looks. That page has a tear already. Oh, that's cute. So see, when you get your paper clip flat, you aren't going to have any problem turning that or attaching, sliding that on your paper. And there you go. Very cute. And there's another one. So you see, once you get it, they don't take very long. Okay. What time? Where are we? Okay, we're at 35. I think you probably got the gist of this, so I don't think I'm going to make a ribbon one. Where'd you go? No, I don't even see it. Oh, this one. But just remember, just because you get a variety of sizes, you can still do all of them. Okay, so you just arrange your fabric. So see, maybe this ribbon was about the closest I have, but I didn't even want to attempt trying to get that silk in there. And then I have some already pre-chosen, so I can make some more. And then this one is just a piece of cotton. I'm going to try that with some glue and see if that works better. Now, if you don't want to attempt even mess around with fabric, you can also make these with paper. That was my original plan, and I have made these little gorgeous little tiles here with diamond dust on them. I don't know if you can see that sparkle or not. And it's back and front. And this one has oh, what's that called? Glitter acrylic paint on the back and the front. And that was my original plan. I think I did this last winter, actually. But yeah, that's how long this project has been in my head. So and the thing about these are, they don't even feel like paper anymore because that's 3 layers. That's probably on packaging material, back and front, and then either diamond dust or glitter paint, glitter acrylic, and because I wanted it to look frosty like winter. And I have an entire this is full of them. That's how many I made. They're just like little tiles. So if you don't want to mess with fabric, you just have to measure that to your size. And the ribbon crimps will also work for paper. And you might find it, of course, you could put some glue on your paper. And you might find that easier if you don't want to mess around with fabric at all. So, okay, everyone. Let me get these out here so you can see them. And these were all done with paper clips, except this one. I found some cute black and white safety pins at I think that was at Dollar General. And I did a gold one, and you can remember, you can use any type of color paper clip, and that will also add to the fun. So if you want to just sit down and use up some scrap fabric or paper and have a little cluster play and stitching play, there you have it. So thanks so much for your time, and again, I kind of have to be in the mood to do this sort of thing, but once I get started, I can make a bunch. And even if I don't feel like doing all the sewing, I can just get rid of a bunch of strips of fabric and put that on something, a ball pin or something, and that can go anywhere in or on a journal. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's it, and thanks so much for your time, and you have a great day and a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.